Is this? Let me tell you. My name is Dov Baron. I'm the founder of FullMontyLeadership.com. You can find me on Twitter at the Dov Baron. You can also find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook, Dov Baron Leadership. On YouTube, Dov Baron Full Monty Leadership. I write for Entrepreneur Magazine. I write for Medium. I write for who else? I write for 7 outlets now apparently, and often I forget exactly who is who, and LeadX and a lot of great outlets. So if you want to find my stuff, just do a search in Google, find me. If you want to reach out to me and you'd like to find out about working with me one-on-one as your mentor, or bringing me in to work with your company, your organization, best place to go is to FullMontyLeadership.com, and there you can find the appropriate pages to go to find out how to do that. All right, so let's jump into it. This is the midweek show. This is Dov Baron's Leadership Unscripted Show, and I want to get into it talking about, let's see who else is here before we do. Leah's here. Good to have you on, Leah. Fabulous. Thank you for coming in from sunny Arizona. And anyone else who's there, I see that Jewish is there from the UK. And I know a bunch of others are coming in on the back there, so that's really great. Good to have you on. Give us a thumbs up, give us the hearts, give us the share, all of the above. Again, my name is Dov Baron, FullMontyLeadership.com, and you are on the midweek Leadership Unscripted Show. Okay, real change. How do you make it happen? I want you to think right now, this very moment, about something in your life that you know has to change. Something in your life that you have looked at, you know, it's been going on, maybe it's been going on for a little while, and you made the decision that you have to change it. This is something that you've got to really do. You've got to change this. And yet, you've made the decision, whoops, across the road, you've made the decision that it's got to change. You maybe even have the resources to change it, but you've not changed it yet. So what is the distinction between making the decision to change and actually changing? What is it that makes that difference? You see, we like to think of change as being something very logical and very rational, that we make that T-bar on the page. And if we, on one side, we put all the positive reasons, oh yeah, these are the reasons to change, and there's 15 on that side, and there's 4 on the other side, so, you know, logically, rationally, have to make the change. And yet, we don't. Why? Well, because many years ago, I made a discovery that completely transformed the way that I saw the world, the way that I saw people, and certainly changed the way that I saw the way I could serve leaders like yourselves. And that is that how people change and the way they change is not what you would expect. Change is not logical, it's not rational. The desire to change is not logical, it's not rational. It's actually emotional. And until we have developed our emotional intelligence, until we have developed our emotional maturity, change is a bit of a challenge. It's quite difficult for us to actually do, even though it makes logical sense for us to do it. So why do we hold on? I mean, you know, you've decided that this has to change, whatever this is, you know, whatever it is in your life. Why have you decided that it has to change, and yet you're not changing it? Why is that? Again, makes logical sense, you should change it, you know you should change it, yet you don't change it. Why is that? What is that distinction? Well, it's something called pain and comfort. So when you think about pain and comfort, when we do that T list and we go all the positive, all the reasons I should change it, and there's a few reasons I shouldn't change it, and yet there's so many more reasons why I should change it, yet you don't change it, that is simply because in your mind there is greater pain to changing it than there is to keeping it the same. There's a level of comfort with even the thing that you say you don't like. There's a level of comfort, there's a level of being used to whatever it is that is going on. See, let's talk about something called safety. Fascinating subject. Talk a lot about it in the boardrooms, talk a lot about it with companies. You know, we're looking for safety. You and I want to feel safe. You know, we say about friends, you know, I feel really safe with him. I feel really safe with her. You know, we want safety. But what is safety? And I think safety is this double-edged sword that can so easily consume us. On one side of that double-edged sword is the grand comfort, the wonderful comfort of being in a situation where it feels safe and good to, you know, kind of like that old pair of slippers, you know, that kind of safety. And at the other side of that is this sense that it's so safe that I might not move. So safety is a double-edged sword because we want it to feel comfortable, but at the same time, if you get too much safety, you won't move even though you know you need to move. So when you're looking at change, and when you're looking at the possibility of change, and when you're looking at the lack of actually taking action towards change, it means that you have a level of comfort and safety with whatever the situation presently is. So, what's stopping you is you've got an assessment in your brain. You say, okay, logically, rationally, it's painful to stay where I am, but unconsciously, the unconscious equation is that you've actually assessed that it's going to be more painful to change, that it's going to be more painful not to get to the result. Because if you've worked out logically and rationally, yeah, it's actually going to be better if I do that, yet you don't do it. Clearly, it's not the pain of getting of the actual result. It's the pain of that middle space. It's the transitional period. That's the difficult piece, and this is what everybody forgets when they do change work. You see, we focus on the outcome. That's important. We should do that. We go, listen, it's going to be so much better. Can you see how it's going to be so much better? Yeah, I can get that. Okay, I can make the change now. And then the person still doesn't make the change. Why? Why don't they make the change? And the answer is simply because the mind has now gone, hold on a sec, there's going to be enormous pain in the transition. And that, my friends, is the magic bullet. That is where 99.9% of people will fail over and over and over again to actually take the action that they need to take. Because there's no pain, there's usually minimal pain in the result, but it's the transition piece that most people are afraid of. So, if you want to make change that actually lasts and actually works, here's the thing you've got to do. And I know this sounds weird, but you actually have to be willing to sit in your own discomfort. I'm going to say that again because it's so important and so few people are willing to do it. If you're going to change, yes, you've got to look at, wow, this is going to be great, there's going to be these great results, and certainly focus on all the positives that are going to come out of the change. But what is going to get you to have those powerful positive results is your ability to get over the potential pain of the transition from where you are to where you want to be. That's where the pain is coming up for you. So you have to actually project yourself into that pain. And you have to be willing to sit in that pain by constantly reattaching to how great it is going to be when you've gone through the change. So let me give you an example. I was having a discussion with somebody very recently, very successful individual, who's done all kinds of great things in the world, and, you know, amazing human being doing great work, and I'm very proud of him. And I've been there and assisted him through a lot of that. But one of his greatest challenges in his life was that he would find himself constantly in very dysfunctional relationships. And We had had many discussions about the importance of him actually spending time with himself and not jumping into the next relationship, but to actually be in a relationship with himself first. This was something that made perfect, logical, rational sense to him. He could totally see that that was the way to go. He could totally see that that was what was missing, that he needed to know what it would be like to actually be fully, totally, completely alone with himself. Meaning not jumping into the next available relationship or the next available bed, but to actually be with himself, to say no to others and say yes to himself. Fabulous concept. Notice I said concept. Fabulous concept. Loved the idea. Thought it would be marvelous. Thought it would be wonderful. Definitely knew that that would help him enormously. Yes, I'm going to do it. Made the commitment. Made the decision. Had the resources to do it. Had the support system to do it. Did he do it? No, absolutely not. He did not do it. Did he not do it the first time he made the decision? No, he didn't. Did he not do it the second time? Nope. Did he not do it the third time? Nope. It was about the fifth time that he actually was able to follow through on that decision. Why? Because the pain of keep repeating this cycle just became so big. So he finally made the commitment that he was going to stay out of relationship. Now, we had looked at this projection of what the interim period would be like. And we had talked about that and looked at the potential pain and the discomfort of being alone. And sure enough, situations happened, circumstances happened, and there was all kinds of reasons that he was feeling very lonely, very alone. And of course, when you're feeling like that, what shows up? Opportunities to give away your commitment, opportunities to sidebar your own commitment, opportunities to go, yeah, well, I can just let it go for this time. It's only one donut, it's only one sexual encounter, it's, to justify and make rational lies about why you're doing something. Only this time, he sat in his discomfort. When that old girlfriend called and invited him over, he didn't go. Did he want to go? Absolutely. But he didn't go. He sat in the discomfort because he knew if he stepped over that line, he could play with, and this is the work we'd done, where it would go to, what would be the pain long term if he kept going. So he stopped himself. And instead, he chose to feel the pain of his loneliness. He chose to feel the discomfort of sitting there with all of the negative fantasies that one's head likes to produce, like, oh my God, I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life, etc. But it's not true. And the only way you'll find out that it's not true is if you are actually willing to sit in the discomfort. So here's the key piece that I want you to get. The place between where you are and where you want to be, the change that you want to make, can happen. You know it can happen. You've done it before. It can happen. However, what you need to know is the actual change is not the problem. Where you face the problem, where you face the challenge, is the transition period between where you are now and where you will be. That time of being a satellite floating between two worlds, where you feel like you're not anchored to anything, where you feel like there's no place of comfort, where there is no, quote, normal safety. And it's that place where you have to become safe with yourself, where you have to come home to who you actually are. That's when it all changes. So if you want to make real and lasting change, you have to psychologically, emotionally face the discomfort of what it's going to be like between where you are and where you want to be. That's the place that's the most challenging. Not the actual challenge, not the actual change, but the transition between the two. And let me just tell you, that the most powerful people in the world, the ones who make that change, are the ones who are constantly willing to let go. Listen, if you want to really grasp this and really want to understand this, I'm going to give it to you this way. Between where you are and where you want to be is your discomfort zone. There's a new comfort zone if you get to where you want to be, but it's your discomfort zone. Only the very courageous, only the really strong, only the true leader is willing to sit in the discomfort and not ease the pain. We all want to ease our pain. Here's the thing about human beings. We're all trying to feel better. Those friends of yours who piss you off by doing the stupid shit that they do, you know what? They're just trying to feel better. Just like the things that you do to try and make you feel better. We're all trying to feel better, and oftentimes we're trying to feel better, and in the process we do some really dysfunctional and unhealthy things. But we're all trying to feel better. The key is, if you really want to understand how to make lasting change, is to not try and make yourself feel better when you're in the discomfort, but rather recognize that this discomfort is actually a great sign. It means that you're outside of your comfort zone. It means that you are actually now in the satellite position. You are traveling between the old reality and the new reality, and that is the most powerful place there is. And the only person who can take that away from you, just so you know, is not your ex-girlfriend, your new boss, your business partner, your employee, the CFO, or anything. The only person who can take that power away from you is, in fact, you. The only person. Your most powerful place is sitting in the discomfort so that you can actually own your own change. So, my challenge to you, I want to hear from you. You can tell me about it. You can hit share. I'm sure many of you are going to be watching this on Encore, and I highly recommend that you watch it back. Take some notes for yourself. But first of all, on a piece of paper, plot out, here's where I am, here's where I want to be. This is where I am, this is the change that I want to take place. Certainly, write down all the positive results of what will happen when you get to the change. But leave the space in the middle, and then right in the middle, all of the ways it is going to be uncomfortable between where you are and where you want to be. Really get clear on where is the discomfort. What is that going to be like to be in that place between those two worlds of where you are and where you want to be? Because that's actually the thing you've got to confront. But if you do that, change, dramatic change, real change, transformational change takes place. But what happens for most people is they get to that middle place, that satellite zone, and they go, I can't bear it. And where do they go? They go right back to where they were. They return to the comfort, to the safety of what it was that they knew before. You're better than that. You're made for far greater things than that. And so with that, my name is Dov Baron. I want to thank you for joining me here on this particular version, this particular episode of Leadership Unscripted. Dov Baron, fullmontyleadership.com. Remember, you can find me on Twitter at @TheDovBaron. You can find me on LinkedIn, Dov Baron. You can find me on Facebook, Dov Baron Leadership. You can find me on YouTube, Dov Baron Full Monty Leadership, and on a bunch of other places like Entrepreneur Magazine, Medium, and all kinds of other places. And of course, we have new videos, new podcasts coming out every Tuesday and Thursday. Get yourself over to iTunes and find my show there, Dov Baron Leadership and Loyalty Tips for Execs. And please subscribe to the show. We love it when you rate, review, and subscribe to the show. And share this video with everybody you know, because we got to share the wealth, right? We got to help everybody we possibly can in any way that we can. And if this has helped you today and this has made a difference to you, I appreciate you being here with me on this particular episode. I want to thank you. And again, stay curious, my friends. Stay curious about how you will be so much more powerful if you're just willing to sit in your own discomfort. Till next time, this is Dov Baron, and I am out.